All right, today we're going to talk about R. Now, I promise this is not going to be a coding tutorial. Instead, we're going to unpack why a tool like R is, well, absolutely critical in the world we live in today, a world that is just swimming in data. So let's jump right in.
To really get why this all matters, we have to start with a story of what happens when things go horribly wrong. Just think about this for a second. One single mistake, a tiny error buried deep inside a spreadsheet, that ends up influencing massive government policies and shaping the entire global economy for years. I know, it sounds like something straight out of a movie, but believe me, this story is all too real.
Okay, so our story kicks off with this hugely influential economics paper. Its main argument? That countries around the world needed to adopt austerity measures. And this conclusion was all built on data. But, as you're about to see, that data had a secret, a fatal flaw.
So back in 2010, two economists, Reinhardt and Rogoff, published this paper arguing that high national debt just cripples economic growth. This idea became a massive justification for austerity policies worldwide. But then, fast forward to 2013, a grad student decides, hey, I'm going to try and reproduce their results. And guess what? He couldn't. He dug and found a simple spreadsheet error. They'd accidentally left 5 countries out of a key calculation. And when you put that data back in, well, the conclusion wasn't nearly so dramatic. An entire global economic philosophy influenced by one little mistake. Wow.
Now this whole Reinhardt and Rogoff thing, it isn't just about one mistake. It's bigger than that. It shines a massive spotlight on a fundamental weakness in the tool that most of us use for data every single day, the good old point-and-click spreadsheet.
Yeah, there's this great quote from a statistician, Bodo Winter, that just nails the problem. When you're just pointing and clicking your way through an analysis, filtering this, copy-pasting that, you don't leave any tracks. Your work becomes a black box, and it's impossible for someone else to follow your steps. Heck, it's pretty much impossible for you to follow your own steps 6 months down the line.
So let's just lay it out, side by side. On one hand, you've got your point-and-click tools. Every step you take is hidden. Reproducing your work is a nightmare, and it's so easy for little manual errors to sneak in completely unseen. But then you've got scripting. It's the total opposite. Every single thing you do is written down as a clear instruction. The whole process is transparent, anyone can reproduce it perfectly, and you have a crystal clear record of every single action you took. No more black boxes.
And this, right here, is where a tool like R completely changes the game. Now, hang on. Don't let the word programming scare you off. I want you to think of it in a much simpler way. Think of it as just writing down a recipe for your data.
So what is an R script? It's nothing more than a plain old text file. It's where you write down your instructions, step by step. That's your recipe. And the R program itself? Well, that's the kitchen. The kitchen takes your recipe, reads it line by line, and does exactly what you told it to do. There are no hidden clicks, no secret steps. It's all right there in the recipe.
And look, this is what I'm talking about. This is what a piece of that recipe looks like. It's not some scary, cryptic code, right? It's something you can actually read. We can even leave little notes for ourselves. Those are called comments, to explain what we're doing. And then we just give a simple, clear command for the kitchen to follow. It really is that straightforward.
So why is this whole recipe idea such a big deal? Well, for one, it creates a perfect record of everything you did. Anybody can take your recipe, run it in their own kitchen, and get the exact same result. You can explain your thinking every step of the way. And honestly, the biggest benefit? When you have to look at this project again in 6 months, your future self is going to be so grateful you wrote everything down.
Okay, so every good recipe needs ingredients, right? And those ingredients need to be organized. So let's talk about how R handles the data itself. And you'll see, it's probably a lot more familiar than you think.
The main way R organizes your ingredients is in something called a data frame. And honestly, a data frame is just a fancy name for R's version of a spreadsheet. That's it. It's a grid. It's got rows, it's got columns, and each column holds one type of information. All the names, all the scores. You get the idea.
And here's a perfect example. See, it looks just like a simple table. You've got your participant column, your score column. It's clean, it's organized, it makes perfect sense. The structure is totally familiar, but the key difference is how we work with it. It's all about transparency.
So let's say you want to grab just one of those ingredients. Maybe you want all the scores from that column. In a spreadsheet, you'd be clicking and dragging. Here, you just write one simple command. You type the name of your data table, a $sign, and the name of the column you want. Boom. That one line of text grabs that entire list of scores for you. simple, clear, and repeatable.
Okay, so we've got our recipe, we've got our organized ingredients, now it's time for the fun part, the payoff. Let's see how all this comes together to turn simple instructions into some really clear insights.
And it's really just a simple 3-step process. Step 1, we'll load the ingredients. Step 2, we'll follow one simple step in our recipe. And Step 3, we'll get an amazing, clear insight. That's it.
All right, step 1, load the ingredients. This one little line of text tells R, hey, go grab all the data from that file over there and put it into a data frame for me. Just like that, with one command, our whole data set is loaded up and ready to work with.
Step 2, follow a single step from the recipe. Here, we're just telling R to make a histogram, which is really just a simple bar chart that shows you how your data is spread out, and we're telling it to use the Langs column from our data. Again, look how simple that instruction is.
And just like that, there it is, the result, instantly generated from that one command. And we can see something right away, can't we? Most countries have somewhere under 100 languages, a few have more, and a tiny handful have a whole lot more. That is a clear insight, and we got it from one single, repeatable command.
Think about that. That entire chart, that aha moment of understanding, it all came from one single line of code. Not from a dozen different clicks and drags that you can never remember. Just one. One transparent, verifiable, repeatable command. That is the power of having a recipe.
And you know, this brings us right back to the beginning. We make huge, world-changing decisions based on data analysis. Everything from economic policy to medical research. So after seeing how easily a tiny hidden error can spiral out of control, and how simple it is to have a transparent, verifiable process, it leaves us with a really important question, doesn't it? In a world that runs on data, shouldn't we always demand to see the recipe?